Man, what an awesome day today. Can I start? Yeah, what an awesome day today, man. Really appreciate Lindenwood letting us do this. Coach Stugart, such a generous host to allow us to utilize their facilities. What a great opportunity for us to practice a road trip, get used to the adjustments of a locker room and the challenging of an environment. So what an awesome field, and everything was first class, so really appreciate Lindenwood. It was good today. We got a lot of, I know some people thought we were doing a walkthrough. We got a really good scrimmage with our younger guys. Let the quarterback still go, but took out a good portion of players who had played significant snaps in college football. We kind of held those guys out and let some younger guys get to work. So was really good there. And then we let the special teams specialist get the punt and the field goal work. Challenged. I didn't feel like offensively or special teams we started fast at all. We had a shanked punt, we had a 3-and-out, we had a 3-and-out, and it just wasn't what we need to do offensively or special teams wise if you're going to go on the road. I thought defense started really fast, which was good. Offense settled in, got a couple of scoring drives there. Blake was able to kick a couple of field goals just to get that work in. Was on the field a little less than an hour from a football playing game, but totally came in and did our pregame and all that. So it was really good heat exposure. Fired up where we're at. So get back, dinner tonight, meetings off tomorrow, and then finish up camp. I told them next week's all about urgency. We got to have another urgency to raise our level of where we're at. We can't just coast. We got to have some urgency to get going. So that's where we're at. So with that, I'll take it for questions.
I know this was an important practice for you to get in to go on the road. What did you want to see from your guys in this practice, and do you feel like you saw it?
Yeah, I wanted to see where we were at. I wanted to see from a mentality standpoint, would we start fast? Did we have the right mindset? Did we come out ready to play? In a road game, you can't ease into it. You look at our poor performances last year, 3 of them on the road. We were really, really slow, and that can't happen. We have to start fast. And that's something that you can learn now and apply it instead of having to learn after you go on the road. So, they knew I was disappointed with that slow start.
Eli, when you talk about having a solidified plan along the offensive line, just what does that look like? And does that include getting that left tackle and Curtis at right guard?
Yeah, for us, it's all about getting the best 5, right? And the challenge is, you think you got guys slotted in positions, but man, guys grow and develop and get better and play themselves into positions. And so, Curtis Pigler's really played well. And so it's like, okay, well, is he playing better than the left tackle, or is, Tristan Wilson playing better than the center, And so, we're having those constant discussions. I feel like we gave ourselves a chance to look at it. I like the way that looks right now. We've got a little bit of camp left, so I don't want anybody to think they're out of the fight. But I feel confident in the direction we're going. I'll say this. I have a ton of confidence in Brandon Jones. What he did with our offensive line the last 2 years that he's been here has earned him the ability to be flexible with how he does it. And so, all the worry about, oh, man, we're moving. Man, that's ridiculous. Don't worry about it. I promise you. We know what we're doing with that, and we'll be just fine if that's the direction we go. Caden's been an unbelievable team player, slid out there. He's played left tackle. That's what he's always been, and he looks like a natural to it to me. So I think we'll be fine, but no final decisions yet.
Eli, you said you let the quarterbacks go today.
Yeah.
What did you see from each of them?
Yeah, it was a struggle for them because they were going against or didn't have necessarily the same group that they've been working with, so that was good. Got to see them work through some difficulties, some slow starts, and bounce back. So it was good. Big thing for me again was to see their mindset and mentality coming out, and how do they respond to this situation. Nobody knew who wasn't playing. Everybody thought we were coming out here and everybody was going, and then we went back in the locker room and I just took people's helmets and I told them, hey, when you go on the road, you always face adversity. You never know, somebody's got to step up, and so these guys that don't have helmets aren't playing today, and go figure it out. And was trying to create some adversity. I thought it did a good job with that.
Coach, with Caden moving out to left tackle, just what was kind of the genesis for feeling at this point in camp that now was the time to give that a try?
Yeah, just the way Curtis Pigler and Tristan Wilson have been playing and performing. Those guys, what happened with Connor got dinged up, and so we had to move Tristan to center, and in order to get the twos the reps we wanted, we moved Dom to the number 2 center, which gave Curtis a real shot to play at the 1 right guard position, and he played really well. And it's like one of those things like, okay, well, all right, what if he's playing one of the best 5, how do we get our best 5 on the field? And, whether it happens in camp, I think there's a misnomer that at the offensive line position, you just play one position. You learn techniques. That's what the outside zone helps us do. You take reps all across the line. And position flexibility is the name of the game. That's why you got to be able to have your best 5 on the field. And so, Tristan and Curtis are competing at the right guard position, and Javen's competing at the left tackle position, and competition's a great thing.
Eli, how has the quarterback competition brought out the best in Sam and Bo?
Yeah, I think both of them are really straining. And, I think when one guy has a big day, the other one knows they have to respond. My challenge for them, they were both, we voted captains yesterday, and both of them were voted captains on the offensive side of the ball, along with Connor Tollison and Caden Green. But my challenge for them is to lead when you're not the quarterback. Don't be in the back just watching the plays. Like, go lead, go be on the sideline, go provide energy, because that's really the next step. It's who really rallies the team. And, it was awesome to see both of them get votes. On the defensive side of the ball, Zion Young, Dalen Carnell, Jalen Catalon, and Khalil Jacobs were voted, and then Logan Muckey was voted the special teams captain. So a lot of guys voted captain, 9. I've never had that many, but it's one of those things where I knew this class had strong leadership and guys believed in them. So excited about that.
Coach, a few days back, you had mentioned that you felt strongly about 18 defensive players on that side of the ball, but would likely maybe have a rotation consisting of 25. Have there been any new faces emerged since then?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Caleb Flagg has had an outstanding fall camp. Santana Banner's been really, really good. Mose Phillips has been good. I think we know exactly where we're at with the 3 corners. We got 6 defensive ends that continue to pop for us. I felt really good about the way Marquise Graciel has grown up and developed, and the size and dominance that he can play with on the interior. We've got 4 really good linebackers, so I think we're really close to that. The good news is the rest of these guys, like the Brian Huffs of the world, man, they've really shined on special teams, length and speed, and can really run, and that's been exciting. Jeremiah Beasley's a guy that's really popped. Both playing and playing special teams. So it gives Coach Link a deep bench to really get guys on the field.
On the quarterback situation, what do you need to see next week, and how do you see the decision playing itself out into week 1?
Yeah, I don't have a timeline yet on the decision. So, everybody else is pressed about the week 1. I'm not really pressed about it. I'm pressed on who's going to reveal themselves as the starting quarterback. I think, they're both playing really well from a statistical standpoint, from a touchdown to interception ratio, from a completion percentage, from a third down percentage. I broke it all down yesterday in our off day, and it's remarkable how close it is. For me, it's about being a transformational leader at this point, and who's going to lean into the team and really get the most out of those guys. And they're going to have to kind of separate themselves from the quarterback battle and really get the most out of the guys they're playing with.
Coach, I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but Pete Thamel just put out a report that the Big Ten is populating the idea of expanding the playoff to 24, 28 teams. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts are it's hot as crap out there on the turf at Lindenwood, and I'm really focused on how do we start faster. We didn't start fast enough today. How do we make sure our punter's ready to punt? On the ride home, I'll look at Pete Thamel's tweets and I'll process that. But right now, I'm too hot to think about it.
On the quarterback situation, do you feel like I know you said there's urgency, there's no timeline also, though. Does game reps help with that decision? Would that potentially help sort of set somebody?
Yeah, it could. Yeah, absolutely it could. If we feel like there's no clear-cut decision, I'm not going to force a decision. And then that means that they would both play in the first game, and we'll evaluate those reps. But I don't feel the pressure like, I've got to make a decision, we got to move on and solidify it. Like, that's not the case with this football team. So this team's growing. All of us need urgency to raise our level because, again, we didn't start fast enough today. So there's got to be urgency when you show up to play. But that doesn't mean I need urgency to make a decision and force the wrong thing to happen, right? So
Coach,
be quick but don't hurry. Be quick but don't hurry.
Coach, you spoke to the depth of your team a few months ago
Yeah.
on paper.
Yeah.
And it sounds like with everything we've heard the last few weeks is that the depth has it lived up to your expectations, and the competition that it's brought this camp?
Yeah, probably more so than I expected, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. But even with the offensive line, like I didn't know that we were going to have two young guys really develop into solid, I think, SEC offensive linemen with Tristan Wilson and Curtis Piegler. You know, those guys had kind of been penciled in as maybe, you know, quality backups. I'm telling you right now, those guys can play at a high level in this league, and you know that has been really something to watch. So that gives you more flexibility with what you want to do. Watching Marquise Graciel and Jalen Marshall really push. Elias Williams get up to 270 pounds. The defensive ends with, D-Hop again, he was dominant out here again today. You know, so that's been really, really exciting.
A little bit more on the offensive line. Just
Yeah.
I'm curious how you've seen Dominic Giudice.
Judice? Giudice. I'll ask him if that's how you pronounce it. You might be right.
Yeah, one of the two. How you've seen him slot in at left guard, and is he at this point in time the break glass center as well?
So the thing about Dom is he is like the glue that holds that whole group together. I think the way he has asserted himself as the leader of the offensive line, it's been remarkable to me because, you know, Connor was out. And so we needed somebody else to kind of be the guy like, hey, they're going to get extra. They're showing up on Saturday. He's been the one leading it. We're watching tape, and it's been remarkable. And, man, that guy puts the team first in everything he does. He can play center. He can play right guard. He can play left guard. And he can play them all at a really, really high level. I would say right now, if something happened to Connor, we would start Tristan at center, and Dom would stay at guard. But that would be, you know, and like I said, like, there's times right now where I get mad at Connor, and I'm just like, hey, put Tristan in because he's playing really well. So we got no problems on sliding that in, you know. And I think people assume that flexibility means that we're struggling. We're not struggling there.
Coach, with Caden Green, I mean, I know we only see a limited part of practice, so we just seen him at left tackle this week. But during the offseason, have you guys?
What'd you think about it?
Coach, I'm just watching.
I mean, your job's to evaluate. You evaluate our decision to move him, but you didn't evaluate the player.
He's cool.
He's cool?
He's cool. He's doing
What about athleticism, size, footwork, speed, being able to control an edge, play by himself against long defensive ends? You feel like he can do that?
Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see. I mean, we don't get to see that much.
You didn't?
When did he play at left tackle during the scrimmage?
I don't know, did he?
I don't think so. I wanted to say, is he doing, you know, left tackle work, obviously when we're not there, so it's just kind of easy to say, hey,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's guys, these people, our players work all the time on their craft, right? And so I think you're right. You get to see a small portion, right? And that portion you saw, wow, he's moving at left tackle. Oh my gosh, they're pulling the ripcord, something's wrong. No, it's something that he's been doing all summer. It's something that he's worked towards. It's something that when he first got here, he did. He wasn't as comfortable, so we moved him into left guard, played really, really high level. But now he's more comfortable and confident as a player. So it gives us the freedom to slide him out and say, are you still comfortable and confident as the left tackle? Because it's a little bit further from the ball, a little bit more in space, a little bit more isolation. And guess what? He's pretty confident. He's pretty comfortable. And so that's a good sign. So I feel pretty good about it.
Coach, with Tristan and Curtis, where have you seen over this last chunk of time, where have you seen them grow and develop to where you're comfortable?
Yeah, I think physicality, but also footwork, fundamentals, understanding pad leverage. You know, they had an entire offseason with Coach Russ, so their movement skills are so much different. You know, Curtis Piegler's body has changed. He's a big guy, powerful, but if he uses his feet right, gets his hands on you, I mean, that's a tough out, you know. And so, yeah, it's good. Two more, okay.
You mentioned that Dayton Hopkins is a standout today.
Yeah.
What other freshman really caught your eye?
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Dow had a sack, D-Hop had a sack, Javion Hilson had a sack, a lot of sacks. Sean Terry had a big-time third down catch. Donovan Alubade always shows up. Marquise Davis and Haygood both had big-time runs. So, yeah, it was just right off the top there. Top rope, that one.
Coach, your receiver
Got him.
depth, I feel
Yeah.
like we overlook it sometimes, and with Luther being gone, it's almost as if that position group doesn't get the attention they did a year ago. How good have they been top So bottom, you mentioned,
Yeah, been really consistent, right? Kevin, Flash, Josh. I think Josh has had the most consistent camp. I mean, Daniel Blood. Those guys have played a lot of football, all right? And they know what it looks like in this league. They know how to get open. They know how to go up and get catches. So that's been really good to watch. And then you've got Xavier Lloyd, who's played a lot of ball, so he's come in and fit in nicely. And you got the young guys competing now too.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming down here. That's awesome. Appreciate y'all practicing. Huh?
You think you'll do this again next year?
That depends when our first road game is. But yeah, I loved it. I think I'm all for it.